A train carrying more than 100 tankers of crude oil derails in southern West Virginia, I should say. Take a look. It sent at least one tanker into the Kanawha River, igniting 14 tankers and sparking a house fire.
First thing that went through my mind is I just witnessed the train go through, and we've been training on it pretty good for the last while because we just finished up safety training. First thing that went through my mind is, oh no, that's crude. And Shannon at that time came over the radio and said that there was a major fire. And so that's when the wheels start turning. What are we going to do? I'll be really honest, when we saw the amount of fire, what we saw with the tank cars, yeah, there was an uneasy feeling. Not sure what was going to happen. I had 4 guys with me. I'm driving, and I got to worry about their safety also.
Federal investigators still have not made it to the scene of that derailment. They're trying to get there, but from what we're hearing, first responders in that area are still keeping people back.
Does this look like something we can get a handle on? And he said, due to the amount of the fire, we just didn't have the available resources. You couldn't get to enough water. Where it was at, there was just a lot of things that weren't in our favor to do any type of suppression activities. So we approached the scene and got into the bottom, which I call the lower end of Medina Village, and we started evacuations. And the only thing that really went through my mind is getting everybody out of the way. And that was really, I guess, my first thoughts. Our first priority was just to get them out of the way. Weather was terrible. Access was terrible. You couldn't even get into the scene. We had cut off the main access, the main Route 61 to go in. So we had some obstacles we had to overcome. But in an event like this that doesn't happen every day, that happens. And but again, after several hours, everything come together really well. We actually had a big help from the engineer. He actually pulled the train enough distance away from it, laid on his horn, and he was trying to notify the residents that there was something wrong. Due to the fact the way that we were set up and the way the area is, Shannon Estep, which actually the chief, was actually already in contact with the engineer. We actually set our actual command post up away from there to where we had a better visual sight, which it worked very well. He had the information, he would get me the information, and then we were making sure that everything else was being handled. Well, the first thing that it needs to do is that the information needs to get to the overall command post. Okay, obviously in an incident this large, you're actually going to have a unified command, but again, that's not something that's set up real quick. It actually took several hours. One thing is getting people to the scene, and due to the weather conditions, it took hours to get people here.
At the state level, we received several calls on the incident, both from the local jurisdiction that was responding to it, as well as we received numerous media calls once it occurred. So I think a key thing is getting notification to the appropriate authorities as soon as we know something's going on. And one of the most important things is having that two-way conversation going on with the people that are going to have to be making critical decisions in a relatively short period of time. You also have to make sure that you're providing the best information you can to the first responders that are on scene so that they can make the right decisions to protect themselves. And the right decisions were made on this particular event because they did have good information and they were able to stay at a safe distance, so the numerous explosions that occurred didn't cause any injuries to the first responders. Don't meet the people that you're going to have to deal with on the scene the first time.
When you've got every agency in the world trying to ask questions, when what needs to happen is the EPA, the DEP, the railroad, the fire department, the Coast Guard, due to the fact the product was in the water, those are the people that need to get the information, put it together, and then they can expand with their information to their people. And again, once we got established and there was a solid command set up, and you had your media staged in one area, everything else was staged in right areas to where we could get things moving. Do you feel like the trains are safe? Well, absolutely. They've been running for hundreds of years. You have an incident. Personally, I feel 100% safe. I don't have any issues, and I haven't heard anything, so that's a good thing.